Keeping It Real guru, Vasavi Kumar. She's back today to answer some more very tough life questions. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Michelle.
Well, let's just jump in. The first question is from a viewer. It's from Lisa M. And she wrote, I'm so afraid to move forward in my life because of what other people will think of me. You see, my past wasn't the cleanest, and I'm scared that if I do try to make a change, that other people will think I'm being fake or a fraud. Please help me move forward in my life. What do you say to Lisa?
So, Michelle, if you even hear what she said in her question, right, that her past wasn't the cleanest, there's judgment there, right? And so your past is your past. And so, first of all, I think it's great that she wants to move forward in her life. But the number one thing that Lisa has to do is to forgive herself. Because forgive.
Get over it. Move on.
It's over. It's done with. And there are ways to do it. So the one thing that I want to suggest is to make a list of all the things that she's guilty about, that she's ashamed about, that she's been beating herself up over. Get into a quiet spot because there's so much chatter all over you. She just needs to sit and go through each one of those things and ask herself, do I forgive myself? Am I choosing to move on? It really is, in that moment, she can choose to move on or not. It really is up to her.
And the act of writing it down and forgiving yourself, it's like a physical, like, get it out.
Yes, there's something very healing about word vomiting all over a piece of paper.
Word vomiting.
Word vomiting, just get it out. Number two, she talks about what other people think. Listen, what other people think of you ain't none of your business. Who cares, right? There's always going to be someone who has something to say, who has an opinion about where you've been, where you are, and who you're becoming.
And you can't control what people think of you. You can control yourself, and that is it.
No, you cannot control what other people think of you. You're going to go crazy if you do that. Listen, in this world, there are two types of people. Either they get it, or they don't. And the people who get it will be there to support you, will be there to champion you, will be there, like, listen, I'm there to support you as you move on. Keep those people in your life. The other people, you got to keep that tunnel vision. Those people, all those haters out there that are like have an opinion or judgment, you got to just keep it moving. You really do.
Our third point is?
Who's judging here? Listen, it sounds like Lisa's really concerned about other people, but I have a hunch it's her who's judging herself. So every time she starts to get into that mode of she's concerned or worried what other people are thinking, I just want her to stop and ask herself, who's judging here? And when she starts to see that it's herself, she gets to choose in that moment, do I want to continue to judge myself or do I want to love myself? This is really an opportunity for Lisa to take back her power instead of giving it away to other people.
And move on. All right. Well, the second question today is from Vanessa W. She asks, my question is about my relationship. I really want my husband to be different. I feel like he doesn't care about me and I'm not important. I love to talk about our problems immediately. However, me needing to do this is driving him away from me. I don't want to be a pain in the neck, but I really do think we need to work on our problems. What do you think Vanessa should do? Now, obviously, as a woman, I totally relate to that. It's like, I want to talk about it. I want to discuss our marriage issues, and then sometimes men, sometimes they do. They don't want to address it immediately.
No, they don't. And if you hear in her question, she probably mentioned the word problem 3 times. So I just have a feeling that she's addicted to finding problems and solving problems. Listen, there are always going to be things that you need to work on. There are always going to be things that you need to solve. However, the more she keeps trying to find problems, the more she's going to have something to work on, and it's going to actually get in the way of her being present with her husband. So for 1 week, Vanessa, I want you to just notice when you're looking for problems. Just notice that compulsion to look for problems and needing to fix them. Just stop, because it's going to take her away from being with her husband.
And stop fixing.
So number 2 is to stop fixing. Give yourself like a no fixing diet. You know, listen, I'm a recovering control freak, perfectionist, problem finder, problem fixer. I admit it. There's a great satisfaction about finding a problem and then fixing it. We feel really great. It's taking away her peace and her ability to be in the moment with her husband. And number 3 is to trust. Listen, she's giving a lot of meaning to what her husband says or doesn't say. Oh, he doesn't care about me. I'm not important. All of that is her perception. So she has to learn to trust herself, trust her husband, and trust the relationship.
Trust that marriage.
Trust the marriage. Number 4 is let's take back her power. You know, anytime you let life or other people control how you feel, you're giving away your power. Anytime you let situations get the best of you, you're giving away your power. So in Vanessa's situation, it just really sounds like she's waiting for her husband to do or say something different. And honestly, for her poor husband, give him some space. If he says he wants some space, give him some space. He's more likely to come around and actually have a constructive conversation with you if she stops suffocating him.